Hey, Mason here. I just wanted to showcase a guide on how to use a tool I've developed. It was not very complicated, but I'm just going to show you what it actually does. The idea is that you can take any hideout and you can port it over to a different type, like the different back type. So this hideout is the backstreet hideout. For example, if I don't want the backstreet hideout and I want to use a different one, so in my case, I want to use the celestial hideout, this tool will allow you to port that image, the art, over into a different type of hideout. So I'll just walk through how you make this work. First thing is to download the hideout that you want. This one says MTX is yes, so I'm not sure if this will actually work, but we'll see if it actually works. And then I'm going to use the default on the hideout that I want. So I swapped it over already. I'm going to click default. This is my default hideout. And then I'm going to export it as well. So I'm just going to call this celestial. Now I've got two hideouts in my downloads folder. So I've got the hideout that I'm looking to use at the end, the type, and then I have the art, the one with the art. Now I'm going to open up the tool. So let me just run the tool here. Okay. So what I'm going to do for the source, I'm going to select the hideout that with the art I want. So the Pikachu one. And then for the target, I'm going to select the one that I want at the end, the celestial one. And then I'm going to make just an output file. Doesn't really matter what we call this. Call it output. It says the source hideout is in Chinese, but the target hideout is in English. Please use hideout files with matching languages. So I'll show you how you can solve this issue. The reason why is because the hideout developer, he works within Chinese language for his game client. So what we're going to do now is we're going to swap the hideout over to the type of hideout that the original one was developed for. So in this case, it's the backstreet hideout. Let's see if I have it. This one here, backstreet. I'm going to swap over to backstreet. Okay, swapped over to backstreet. And now I'm going to go change the hideout, like import the one that I downloaded, the Pikachu one. So downloaded it. Let's see if it imported correctly. Yep, looks like it's working. And so now that I've imported it here, I'm going to now export it and I'm going to overwrite the original file, because what this will do is this will update the hideout files to be in the language that I am using for my game, which is English in this case. So you look here, all of this has been updated to English. So now that we've updated it to English, we want to move this over to the celestial hideout. So I'm going to go over to Act 2 and talk to Helena to swap over back to the celestial hideout. Just over here. I'm going to swap back to the one that I want. So the celestial hideout here. Okay, so now that we've swapped over, I'm now going to use the tool. Just pull up the tool here. Okay, so cut and I opened up the tool now. And now I'm going to select the hideout that I want. So this is the one with the art, so the Pikachu art. And then I'm going to select the target one, which is the end base type I want. I want celestial hideout. And then I'm going to set an output hideout file, which doesn't really matter what you set it as. And what it's going to do is it's going to look at your waypoint in this hideout. And it's going to look at the waypoint in the one with the art. So in this case, the Pikachu one where the waypoint's like around the center. And then it's going to match them. So that what happens is the art will be migrated based on the waypoint. So I'm just going to show you that. So once that's done, oops, wrong one here. So in here, click OK. All I have to do is just click Migrate Hideout. And then it's going to migrate the hideout. And then now we just import the newly migrated output hideout file. See, the Pikachu art's been ported over here. So that's basically how this can work for most hideouts. I'm not sure if it works for every single one, because I think it depends on the hideout creator. But I do know it works for this particular creator here, Chucks55, because a lot of his art I like to use for my hideouts. That's why this was developed. But you can probably use it to port whatever you want from his developments. I know it will work. I'm not sure if it works for all of them. But yeah, so I'll show you another feature that this thing has. It is this arrow key thing here. What this will do is this will shift the art in the in the hideout file. So what I can do, for example, if I want to move the Pikachu to the left, I can click this like twice maybe, and then when I click Migrate Hideout, what I can do now is that when I go to import it, Pikachu's off to the left. And then the same applies if I want to move him back to the middle. I can press R to reset him. It will reset him based on the waypoint. Click Migrate, and then import the new file that's been created. He's back to before in the center. And then, for example, if I want to move him up, and then down to the bottom right, like this, click Migrate, import. See, he went up and he went down over this way a little bit. So that's kind of how you can use this tool. Hopefully it helps. I used it personally to port over the hideout that I mainly use, which is of a VTuber. But yeah, hopefully this helps other people. I have this tool. It's been actually like out there for a while, but I never really updated it to be very user friendly, like with the UI and stuff and these buttons and stuff. And it was like kind of clunky to use. But I just felt motivated today to just like make sure it's like actually usable for people other than me who know exactly what commands to run. So hopefully this helps. Editor Mason here with another issue that you might encounter. It just depends on who the hideout's being developed for. But in my case, I wanted to try using the Pepe hideout, which is this one here by this creator. But when you download the Pepe hideout, it's got a bit of a different formatting to what normal hideouts will look like. So I'm trying to first download it here. Then once it's downloaded, I'm going to open it. And give it a second here. Okay, you can see that this is the hideout that was the Pikachu one. And it's formatted like this, where there's a waypoint and then the coordinates. But the Pepe one's different. It's like the item and then the coordinates. There's none of that formatting that you see in the other one. So the way you solve this, what this will actually look like in the tool, I'll just show you what it looks like in the tool. So I'm going to first import the Pepe hideout, which is this one here. That's the one I just downloaded. And then the Celestial one is my output one. And then I'm just going to output it to the output hideout file. You see there, it says that the source hideout is in unknown, but the target hideout is in English. And please use hideout files matching the same language. But this is exactly the same solution as how you would match languages. What you would do is first you would go over to the hideout that the Pepe hideout was developed for. So this one here. Then I'm going to import this one here. So we imported the Pepe hideout in, and now I'm going to export it into my own file. So I'm just going to call it source now, source Pepe. And then now when I pull open the actual source Pepe file, this one here, you see that it's updated all the hideouts. Like the text file has been updated to match like what a normal hideout should look like instead of what it was originally when I downloaded it from the website. So now what you can do, very simply, exactly the same thing as what you would do for importing another hideout. You'll pick the source Pepe hideout. So that's the one that's been outputted, this one here. Then I'll pick my target one, and then I'll output it. I'll just replace the output file that I have there. It's done all the offset stuff. And now I'm going to go find Helena. Actually, I'll just spawn her in because she changes the hideouts. So spawn Helena in, talk to her, change the hideout to the Celestial one, which is the base that I ported over. So that's the target hideout, is the Celestial one. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to import the output one. So you see, oops, that's the wrong one. Let me just re-import it. Okay, I think I forgot to click migrate, so I'm going to click migrate now. Okay, it's been migrated now. Now when I import it, it should be the actual correct one that's been migrated. Where is the pop-up? This one here. Is that import? Then import the hideout. There we go. We ported Pepe over to the Celestial hideout. So that's basically the only two errors I think you will encounter when using this. And that's basically how you solve them. Just import them into the hideout they're designed for. So in this case, the Pepe hideout was designed for stately. Import it into stately, then export it as a new file, and then just set the source to the correct one, like with the correct formatting, the new one that you just exported. So this should make it redundant for future leagues as well, in case they change the hideout files anymore, but I don't think they will. Because I think this Pepe hideout is from quite a while ago. You see, from 2020, so it's been 5 years since this hideout has been been created. So the text in it is obviously a bit different. The formatting is a bit different to what hideouts look like nowadays. But yeah, that should cover it for this tool. If there's any questions, again, comments, put them in the comments, and hopefully it helps people when they want to port their hideouts over.